Now we'll have Dr. Ravindra Dubey to come over the stage and enlighten us about the future of experimental learning model.
Everyone, I'm a neuroscientist and my field of research is into how human brain learns. And it also deals with facts like when you say that after lunch people feel sleepy, they don't concentrate, or when let's say goldfish has got a very short attention span, so human kids, children also will have a short span. Why is it that? And therefore what needs to be done so that it can be enhanced? I deal with those kind of faculties. I believe that statement that this will revolutionize education has been one of the most persistent myths for more than about 100 years. As much as I can remember, probably in 1922, it was Thomas Edison who said that motion picture will revolutionize the education, so much so that it will end the usage of textbook. Way back in 1922, and see 100 years down the line, we know how it is. Subsequently, in fact, let's add some more points there. By 1930, it was radio. Same thing was said. By almost 1950s to 60s, it was the educational television. By 1980s, it was computers. By 90s, it was the hard storage devices like computer CDs, etc., full of videos and whatnots. And now, as much as we see things like smartphones, tablets, obviously AI, ML, etc., I'm not saying that these things are not doing their bit. The best part that these things have been able to do is to enhance a wide reach, a great penetration. Please try to recall when you were studying, for example, let's say in your 10th standard, have you ever been able to visit your school after that and seen, for example, let's say we are talking about experiential learning, that usually happens in a laboratory, right? Have you seen that laboratory after about 2 decades, 3 decades of it? Any of you? I'm just trying to, you'll agree, even if you have not gotten there, you would have seen your sons or daughters, labs, etc. That digestive system chart in that biology lab, isn't it still there exactly like that? Maybe just a new chart would be there. But the similar digestive system chart, do you agree on that? Or for that matter, any such kind of contextual reference I can give you. How many people can really tell me our stomach, is it like this or like this? Are you getting my point here? And if I tell you your son or your daughter is also going to undergo the same pain point, you'll feel bad. I deal with this faculty in neuroscience. Why is that? And if you call that as experiential learning, probably that is wrong. What is experiential learning is, for example, let's say your village. You rarely go there, I presume that. Just an example, let's say you went there almost 25 years ago. If you go there today, would you still remember that road that after that 𝐷𝐚𝐯𝐲𝐶𝐻 ped you have to take a left turn? You'd surely remember that because you experienced it. Do you agree that even if someone has, for example, cut that 𝐷𝐚𝐯𝐲𝐶𝐻 ped, then also your brain, the hippocampus part of it, it will tell you topographically that probably after this much of time I had to take a left turn, and you will still take that. Do you agree on that? Or let's say if one of the ministers is coming on any of adjacent roads to next to your home, if that road is blocked, you are still able to take an adjacent lane there, and going forward you know whether to take right turn or left turn, and you will be doing it correctly. You are seeing that that is experiential learning. Is a scenario when you are able to apply your learning in a better way, to make some other sense of it. In fact, you'll be surprised when I tell you that all of us probably will fail to recall any important invention in the world in last about 100 to 125 years. Across the world, I'm not saying just India. In science, except computers. And there is a reason, neuroscience tells, there is a reason why in IT there are a lot of newer things happening. But in STEM subjects, particularly let's say science, you'll fail to count. Okay, Tesla is a new car, but then, okay, Michael Faraday, he gave us electricity, you know when. Mobile phones. You know Marconi gave us wireless technology, what, 1870s, right? That is what, and when I say, this is what a point is, that when I say that our children are also going to undergo same pain points, then it should bother us. Somebody should do something about it. And that is where that experiential learning part comes up. We have been talking about experiential learning for quite some time now. All of us have a fair understanding. My question is, why is it not getting, we have been doing experiments, lab experiments, whatnot. I mean, and experiential learning is so much integral part of the NEP. What is the challenge? At our level, we found the most important challenge there has been the economic limitation of the nations, everybody. I'm not saying just India, you call it Finland or whatever. Like one class, for example, on an average has about 30, 35 students. Can you have 30, 35 microscopes in a class? Or 30, 35 sonometers or such kind of, it's not possible. Trust me, not just India, anywhere it's not possible. So similarly, the way in your class, when you were doing that tuning fork experiment, so that, you know, some girl called as Dipali or some guy called as Dipesh was hitting the tuning fork, you were crossing your arms and standing by like this. You were not having the experiential learning that day, while Dipali was having it. And when I say that same thing is going to happen with our children even today, and that's what is happening. Are you seeing the gap in experiential learning, what I'm trying to hint? So what is the answer? In my company, we started to solve exactly the same answer. We found that it will be the digital solution which will take care of it. If we bring experiential learning digitally, let me give you a context here. We know experiential, let's say pilots, okay? They fly their aeroplanes. We know simulators. They have been in use since 1970s, so much. So why not we are able to create simulators everywhere? They are costly. That's what I'm referring, the economical challenge. If we are able to create digital simulators, and when I say digital simulators, I'm not here simply referring a 3D model of it. A 3D model of this panning, zooming, zoom out, etc. won't do much. Just imagine a pilot, learning to fly a plane just by this maneuvering, nosedive position, etc. You will not be feeling safe. He needs to have those controls, that if I turn the knob, I can make the wind nautical mile to 23.6 to 23.7. Those kind of computed controls. Is it possible to do that digitally? Largely, companies have not been able to do that. And at Fibonacci, my company, we solve exact same problem. And here I am referring to not to one or two topics. We are talking about the complete curriculum of grade 6 to grade 12, STEM subjects, every important board in the world, every important language in the world. Because you need to be taught in the language in which you dream. So that's how it is. What are these products? I mean, what is the solution exactly? This is called as hyper interactive 3D simulation. It is hyper interactive primarily because, so let me tell you why the need is, by the way. So we know about videos, etc. So Professor Carl Wieman, he is a professor from Stanford, a Nobel laureate in physics and in education. His studies, there are enormous number of studies. Currently it comes, this is what particularly comes in my mind, says that large part of learning happens because of the limitations or the great things which are happening in our brain. Same, the neuroscience part of it. Videos. So we know the textbooks, the videos, the radios, etc., the graphics part of it, and then the kinesthetics part of it, the work part of it. The video, you know about the work study, I believe. Studies say that all these pillars are required simultaneously, and this is what only a simulation can do. Even a real life, trust me, for example, I'll give you an example here. Let's say medical education. If you want to show oculomotor activity, eyes, muscles activity on a real-time basis to a student, and let me tell you, this topic is actually in 10th standard. People only have to cram it. There is no other way. Even if you show that on a video, they will fail to understand. Your son and my son, he simply have to do a rote learning out of it. Because nothing, and even if it were to a cadaver, muscles don't work in a cadaver. If you were to show a 3D animation, how many renders you can do in a 3D animation? It's a costly affair. Are you seeing it? The right way is a simulation. A teacher has to decide which angle, what, how and when. It is not possible, as you can understand, to explain a simulation right now on a phone like this. It's like selling a television on a radio. It's not possible like that. We have got our stall here. You will be able to experience these products there yourself. Everything you will be able to interact, rather hyper interact with. So these are the solutions that I'm referring, and yeah, I'm done. So these are the solutions I'm referring here, and we believe, with technologies, AI and all those things coming up, when this brings up a superior level of, deep tech learning from what the user is doing, these experiences go to altogether greater level. Here it comes, when it comes to things like virtual reality, extended reality, I'm mixing all of this. At Fibonacci, we are doing all of these things together. We are technology development partners for Lenovo, for Qualcomm, Snapdragon. We have been awarded Disruptor of the Year award at BET Asia 2022. These are, people not know largely about Fibonacci because never spoken about it. We have largely remained a development company. It's a product to be witnessed for that matter. Thank you so much.